welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Morgan. I go by Momo or the fiber between us here on the interwebs. I'm an artist, graphic designer, illustrator, theater type person. It is a very snowy day. It's like our first big snow day and it's beautiful and I don't want to leave my house. So let's do a sketchbook tour. I always hear people talking about their quote-unquote ugly sketchbooks, but I never see sketchbook tours of those ugly sketchbooks, so I'm gonna do one. This is the last ugly sketchbook that I finished. It's ginormous, and there's a lot of sketches and ideas in here that turned into finished pieces that I will share with you along the way. Let's get to it already. Let's go. So this book was started in March of 2023 and I finished it in March of 2025. Before you say anything, I always work in like 5 different sketchbooks at any given time. That's why it kind of takes me like a year or two plus to get through one sketchbook. So that's what that is. So March to March. This was from a figure drawing session at Grotesque Burlesque. The model that night was dressed up as a cowboy. And this was drawing in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I think this was 10 minutes and then 35. And I really like how he came out at the end there. These were some sketches for some mini paintings of cats hugging I was making. These are some pattern sketches. These are flowers and like trees that I sketched from Chinese vases at the Frick Museum in Pittsburgh. I just really like how they were all illustrated, and I just kind of wanted to experiment with sketching them myself. This branch is also from one of those vases. This is the first sketch for an animation that I ended up making later where the figure's sunglasses changed different styles. And this ended up being the final figure with this hairstyle in that animation. These are some ceramic figurines I saw at an antique mall. I don't remember the national park, but this is a rock formation from a national park in Utah that I took a picture of back in like 2018 on a road trip. And I just really wanted to draw it out. These are Neo color crayons on this side and Prismacolor pencil on this side. I don't know why I don't use these motifs more in my work. I really like them, especially as borders. Like I really love this as a border, and I just need to make a conscientious effort to include them more often. I really love drawing chunky hands. And I wanted to do a piece about the American Sign Language alphabet with those chunky hands. So these were those preliminary sketches. Some random stuff. I always end up making lists of things to draw in my sketchbooks, and sometimes I follow through and sometimes I don't, but here I made a lot of items from this list that ended up becoming like this final piece about my cat. Some flowers. Oh, this was a piece that I made with one of those flowers from the Chinese vases. I made it so like with 2 sloths on either side kind of dancing around it like a maypole. It's very silly, but there it is. This was sketches for a Mother's Day card, some flowers. These were some early sketches for a poster I was making for my theater company, Babes with Blades. Every other year we have a playwriting festival where we do public readings of 3 different plays, and so these were sketches for that poster. This ended up being the sketch for the poster for one play, and this was the other. I don't think I have the 3rd play in here. No, I have cheetahs instead. Very strangely drawn cheetahs. And these were some of the sunglasses that ended up making it into that animation from earlier. As a recovering Virgo perfectionist, I am constantly reminding myself that done is better than perfect. So this was an early sketch for a lettered illustration that I made. These are some early sketches for a collaboration I made with my friends at Smartistry. A lot of sketches. I was trying to figure out what this swag was going to look like. Oh, this is a motif from a mausoleum at a nearby cemetery. I just really liked the art deco-ness of it, so I wanted to draw that out. Some sort of like tile work here. I really like how I really like how organic it is, and I want to keep playing with that. This is some sketches for a Father's Day card. I was really making cards that year. Jeez. Random stuff, some more random stuff. This was a poster that I was working on that I never finished, but I really like how this character came out. I like this gal too. I need to put them into something. This is the sketch from a piece I made about my cat basically being my little heart. I always refer to her as my little heart in a cat, so my cat-shaped heart. Some very quickly drawn animals. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. This is more of that Smartistry collaboration. Oh, this was the first sketch of a piece I made called Cat Portals, where like this part it would be different landscapes or different worlds, and yeah, so that's the first sketch there. This is all Neo-color crayons again, which very strangely bled through in this sketchbook. I've never experienced that in any of my other sketchbooks, so I think it must be whatever this kind of paper is. Something going on with this paper. I really like using just regular highlighter markers in my work sometimes, in my sketchbook, just for doodling purposes. I like the pop of it. This is a quote from a friend of mine. "Dumber people than you have figured this out." I was going to make a piece about that, and then I got distracted. Puppies! Very fashionable puppies. Not so fashionable puppies. Oh, they're maybe not as successful as the other ones, but you know what? All puppies are good. These are some sketches for a piece that I think this was that ended up being the final sketch for it. You're like really pretty. This ended up being a sketch for what later turned into the first digital download for my patrons. Some random stuff here. Oh, these bunnies. These are the first sketches, I think, of the bunnies that I eventually used in a later zine I made about how I saw 16 bunnies in one evening. True story. Oh, this is some mind mapping sketches for a logo I was making for a theater company's season. These are also part of that. I was testing out different mediums here, but ultimately I ended up making a digital version of this heart, this like green bandana heart, for the cast of Jane, Abortion, and the Underground, which was a play that I directed a few years ago. Hi, Dolly. Hey, baby. Oh, thank you. I like this spread. It's not very ugly in my opinion. I will, however, say like I have such trouble drawing frogs, and this little guy turned out real good, I think. So I'm proud of him. Proud of you. I was experimenting with some different mediums for this particular kind of flower. Some figure drawing. A ghost. I was experimenting with a new logo for myself. That went nowhere. I did nothing with this. This is the year, I believe this was still 2023, I made a bunch of digital holiday cards that people could buy and print themselves or have printed through like a service. So these were the beginning sketches of those holiday cards. Some faces. I don't know what's going on with those faces. This was a Halloween spooky season sketch that turned into a piece later on. I still want to do something with this sketch, kind of like another portal sort of idea. I really like the framing of trees or some kind of plant life around this portal, and I keep meaning to come back to it. These were also part of the holiday cards, and this ended up being the final sketch for the card that I made for this one particular card of this pigeon hauling some peppermints. This also became one of those holiday cards. I almost made something with this, but I think I lost steam around the time that I drew this one, and I did not want to think about it anymore. I'm doing some hand references that are wild. This is special. So I have this series called Motel Messages, and it's motel signs, vintage motel signs that I'm trying to put like current events or sound bites, mottos, whatnot on them. So this was the very first one that I made, and it was I love a non-binary cutie. That's for my partner. So that was the very first one. These are the first sketches for that series. Some more figures, and then I really started to deep dive into the motel signs. So this was another one of the very first ones: the Free Palestine, trans rights or human rights, my body, my choice. So this is me trying to figure out the different shapes for the different words and how to put them together, and what would ultimately end up looking like a motel sign from like the 50s and 60s. This was another holiday, Halloween spooky season piece that I ended up making with gouache. Was it gouache? More hotel signs. Oh, this one's fun. These are all from Instagram, stills from Instagram of just photos that I really liked. I know that these two were from the accidentally Wes Anderson account. I do not remember the rest of these, if those were also from there. But that account just takes really awesome pictures that often inspired me to sketch. So here's a little spread of that. These are some sketches for some poster work for a theater. I was trying to come up with phrases for staying soft, being soft. Being soft is not a bad thing. It's not a weakness, all that kind of stuff. I think this is from like a lettering class that I took on Skillshare. Yeah. Oh, I like that A. I'm going to come back to you. So these are some of the early sketches of that soft piece that I was trying to figure it out. I might come back to this one with the airplane with the banner behind it, because it's still really, every time I look at it, I'm like, God, I really like that idea. I'm going to come back to it at some point. These are sketches of my cat, and then possibly me and my partner. This may have been an early holiday card spread when I was trying to figure it out for that year. More theater poster sketches. Some figures. These are supposed to be pictures of Pedro Pascal. Are they pictures of Pedro Pascal? No, they are absolutely not. Please do not tell him. Please don't tell him about this. Okay. Oh, I was experimenting with illustrations of like different activities, and like I have this hiking one, so it's got like different icons that mean that represent hiking, and then this one was going to be for a lemon orzo soup recipe, which I'm actually going to make this week. I just realized I didn't even put two and two together. I had made this illustration like 2 years ago, and this week I'm actually going to make this recipe. Wow. I don't even know what to think about that. Dogs, more dogs. Yeah, dogs with long snooch. These guys turned out okay. I like them. Yeah. Some more dogs. What is happening here? I don't know. Don't look at that one too long. Ignore all of this. What is this? Oh, this was the text for a comic that I made between two cats about the state of the world that I think we're coming up on that in just a minute. So this page is me figuring out what the cats in an upcoming sketch, an upcoming comic we're going to look like. And this is that comic. I broke it up all into panels, figured out where all the text was going to go. I digitized all of this later, and it's available. You can see it on my Instagram. I think I maybe even have it as a free post on my Patreon, because it's really just all about how do you handle the hardships and the challenges of the world without losing your heart. Yeah. On a completely different note, this was a sketch for a pizza slice brooch that I made my partner with fringe made out of beads. They were wearing this the other day, and I totally forgot that I had made it. Some vegetables. This ended up being the doodle that would become the final piece for my soft themed illustration. I still kind of want to experiment with that whole idea of like softness not being a weakness and how it's your superpower, and also eventually I'll be making more pieces like that, you know, as soon as I can focus more on it. But that's where that piece originated there. I really wanted to make a cover of The Lord of the Rings, and it was not going anywhere. I may come back eventually, but I could not land on an idea that I really, really liked. But this is where I started with making bows. That shows up a lot in my work these days. Some more weird animal drawings. Oh, why, mother? Oh, gosh, why am I this way? I don't know. Babe. Oh, I like this. I don't know what that was about, but I might come back to it. And I really like this figure here. Oh, I need to do a final piece of that at some point. This is the first sketch of a piece that I did about reproductive health care herbs, tansy, pennyroyal, and rue. I decided to make like a patchwork quilt kind of illustration with it, and I'm pretty satisfied with how that came out. I don't know what's going on with the rest of this page. This is the sketch for an embroidered piece that I made a long time ago of a bunch of skulls in a mesh grocery bag, like you do. These are the first sketches for a pigeon that I drew wearing this cute little bow. And I have done a lot with this pigeon. I've made it into a print. I've made it into a sticker. I even made like a felted brooch out of this little baby at some point. I really like them. I'm experimenting with different colors here, but I really love this little character. A vase. I really like this sketch. I think the purpose of this was supposed to be a bookmark, and I did not get past this point, so that might need to be revisited. What is this? Oh, this is some text for another zine that I wanted to make about pickled turnips and how that was a snack when I was growing up, because we would go, my dad is Lebanese, and so growing up we went to, we had like a regular Lebanese restaurant that we would go to, and they would give you like a little starter snack, which was pickled turnips, and they're like hot pink because you pickle them with beets, and I just always loved how vibrant they were. And I also like pickled things, so it's just kind of like very nostalgic for me. So I was going to make a whole zine about that, which I still plan on doing. It's going to happen. I really like this gal despite her very wonky derriere. What else is going on? This is some more sketches for some social media work for a theater company. Some flowers. This flower and this figure ended up into a final piece. Some more theater posters for a different theater company. Wow, I got a lot of those in here. Oh, these were the first sketches for my tier icons on Patreon. Oh, this was a bit of a storyboard. I ended up going a different direction, but this was a storyboard for my motion graphic portfolio reel, which I recently took down off of my website because I kind of want to redo it a bit. But that was the storyboard for that, the original one. I love these kitties. I really love these kitties. Oh, I know I sound sad saying that, but I guess I'm kind of lamenting the fact that I haven't done more with them, and I really, really want to. These are made with Tombow brush markers and Artex brush markers, which have like bristles on them, so you can get like this dry brush effect with them. Oh, so cool. So I need to do more with them. Oh, I love you all. Flowers and more theater poster sketches. More poster sketches. Oh, this was a Sophie McPike's Scribble Brigade, where she had found all of these vintage stamps. So that's what we were making illustrations off of, basing the sketches off of. And I used Neocolor crayons here, which I think prevented me from being a little bit more successful than that prevented me from being more successful in this challenge. So if you've never done a Sophie McPike Scribble Brigade, I highly recommend checking them out. She puts them on YouTube every now and then. This this page is all about making protest posters for Palestine, and this was going on at the time that Columbia students were being expelled and were camping out on campus and trying to make their voices heard, that they really wanted the school to divest. So I made all these sketches of tents, and then I found all of these like resistance quotes and circled the ones that would make it into the final pieces. But yeah, I'm very happy with how these pieces turned out. What is this one? Oh, this is text for another zine I was going to make about how some random guy was following me. Yeah. Oh, this is also from the Chinese vases. This is a collage. I was messing around with collage and watercolor. Oh, this is a grid. I was doing a grid format or technique for a picture of my cat that's in another sketchbook, and this is the original grid for that. This is the original sketch for a memorial piece that I made about my mom. And I started experimenting with this rounded figure. I really like this pose in this figure. I don't think it really works for other poses, so I kind of stopped here, but I still really like her. I might make her just like a singular thing in this pose at some point. This was for a commission piece. A friend of mine asked me to make her a mini painting of a bird, and so I gave her a choice between a crow and an owl, and she went with the owl. So that's me figuring out colors and placement and all that. I'm still planning on making this into a final piece, but it's basically about fat people hiking, how fat people can do things. So yeah. This was a folk art flower that I was experimenting with. I feel like this one's a little busier than it needs to be, but I made a lot of those, and also in another sketchbook that I think I did a tour of here as well. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. Don't look at those too much. I was trying to come up with a book cover for Alice in Wonderland, and so I had a bunch of sketches for that, which is also why I was playing around with this folk art flower. But I got really far in that process, and then I got really discouraged. It did not come out the way I wanted it to, and I put it away, and maybe someday I will revisit, but not today. No. Here are some more motel signs. These ones were for abolishing the death penalty. Feminist icon Moo Dang. Look at her little angry face. Angel. Some more motel signs. Oh, I did a lot in here. These ones are for voting rights. I really want to do a lettered illustration for this lyric from a Mama Cass song. To do your thing is the hardest thing to do. And so I eventually will make an illustration to just keep that reminder flowing, you know? These are sketches for a holiday card that I was going to make for us, me and my partner and my cat, last year in 2024, but ended up going a completely different direction. Oh, some more poster thumbnails. Some more flowers. These were all supposed to be for mini paintings, and I really think that they're very cute. And I would like to make these into proper paintings at some point. These are also supposed to be mini paintings that I need to make. I need to finalize, though. More mini paintings. Capitalism is fat phobic. Yes. Yes, it is. This was some preliminary ideas for another animation I was going to make that I really need to follow through on. It's been almost a year and I have not touched this yet. Oh, I was learning the box technique for drawing faces here. And then I also did some tutorials on bodies. I really love how this one came out. I need to use that some more. These were thumbnails for an illustration project I had for a client. Oh, it's my kitten. I was experimenting with layering colored pencils to see how like the neon would pop through, and oh, I really like how it turned out. Oh, the great David Lynch, and one of his most amazing quotes, "Fix your heart or die." So that will eventually also become a piece. I realize that I'm saying that like a lot of these will eventually become pieces, and those are all ones that have to do with lettering. And that's because I feel like, I'll be honest, like I don't feel confident with lettering. It is something I'm always working on, and I feel like I'm always like on the precipice of getting it, but I'm not satisfied yet. So yes, eventually all of these lettered pieces will happen, and this will be one. So this became a final piece. This was based off of the original reference photo, and then I used that to kind of expound on the character a bit and enlarge her limbs and make her just a fuller figure. I don't know why, but this face appeared in my mind one day, and I just wanted to draw it, and I went through all these other iterations of it. But this is really the face that I saw, and I think she's cute. And that's as far as I got. I don't think anything's going to come over beyond that. Disabled people do not exist to inspire you. This is another motel sign that I was really happy with how that came out. These are some thumbnails for a season announcement for another theater company that I was working on. This is a swatch of yarns that I had in my stock that I really wanted to use up. And so I decided to make a vest, and I wanted to see how those colors would look together in the vest. So there it is. And I really enjoy that vest. It's very warm. We're coming to the end here. And I always like to end my sketchbooks with a picture of my cat. With some illustration of my cat. So here she is, being very small up against a giant bouquet of flowers. And here she is also being very small, playing, dancing around some candles. And these are all Tombow brush markers. Yeah. And that is that. That is the end of the sketchbook tour of my ugly sketchbook. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a little different to show the inside of an ugly sketchbook. I think it's helpful that as artists that we show something like this where like the process really starts, and you get to see how rough everything is at the beginning, and that's like just how the process goes. Like you have to start rough and frankly ugly in order to get to your beautiful finished piece. And it's just a great place to experiment, and you can't do that without failing, without making mistakes, without exploring. That's how you learn. I think maybe I'm preaching to the choir at this point. Maybe you all know that. But that's it. That is my ugly sketchbook tour. Thanks for hanging around and sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like this video, you want to see more from me, you can follow me here on the YouTubes or on Instagram. You can become a patron. Yeah, thanks so much. Talk to you later.